Welcome to the No Holds Barred podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Justin and Nick back after a short hiatus from the No Holds Barred podcast anyway. Yeah. We did the Last Fan Standing podcast the last 2 weeks, but motherfuckers, we are back.
Back with vengeance.
Exactly. Back with a vengeance. Back with our flagship product, our No Holds Barred podcast.
The one and only.
This is our Monday Night Raw. Well,
sort of.
Sort of. maybe more accurately put, this is our TNA Impact.
Ouch.
Ouch. That was painful. You know what? That's disrespectful to our podcast.
Kind of, yes.
That hurts. Anyways, we are back with, again, like I said, the flagship, the No Holds Barred podcast. We got some stuff we're going to talk about today.
A lot of stuff.
We got a lot of, well, it's a couple of things, but there's one really that we're really going to get into. And, ladies and gentlemen, we have been rolling with the name No Holds Barred Podcast for a while now, and maybe the argument could even be made that in some of our podcasts we haven't lived up to that name. Maybe we haven't really been No Holds Barred. This episode's going to make up for it because we got a certain white-haired, white-skinned, conservative gentleman down in the States that I'm going to have a whole lot of fun with on this podcast, because he came after something that I love, and I can't wait.
Don't do that.
You do not do that. But we got some other fun stuff we're going to talk about here. Again, before we get going, just a reminder, if you are a wrestling fan, or even if you haven't watched wrestling in a long time and you're looking for a reason to get back into it, how about start by listening to our wrestling podcast?
There you go.
The Last Fan Standing Wrestling Podcast, exclusive to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/noholdsbarredpodcast. Check out the Last Fan Standing podcast. We've done 4 episodes now.
4.
Exactly.
Yep. You got it.
4 episodes. We'll be coming back with, I don't know when we're going to be doing the next one. I don't know if we'll be doing back-to-back No Holds Barred or what we're going to be doing next.
I think so. Back-to-back and then do one right before WrestleMania.
Something like that, exactly. So the next episode of the Last Fan Standing podcast will probably be a couple weeks away, but we'll let you know ahead of time when that's going to happen. Be sure to check that out. So what's been going on in your life lately, sir?
Not too much.
Wait, shit, before we get started. What am I thinking? See, exactly. We've been out of the No Holds Barred podcast for 2 weeks. So it's just like we got out of the swing of things. Of course, what do we have to do? We got to crack a fucking beer.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Heaven.
That is so good.
Now I'm kind of disappointed because I'm holding a Canadian.
You know what? It was the only thing that we had in the fridge.
I guess beggars can't be choosers, but
exactly.
When you're out west working, mostly anything they drink is Canadian.
Oh, is it?
And you could go and try and get Budweiser, and it's like sitting there for at least a couple months. I mean, you can taste like all the shit.
Oh, really?
To the bottom of it. Yeah, because all they drink is like Canadian.
Because it's just all they drink out there? You know why they only drink Canadian? Because if you go out west, you're super Canadian, bro.
I guess.
It's where all the Maritimers go when they can't get real jobs around here. Present company excluded.
They all skip town.
Exactly. That's where the gang in our town went, the TOB. They all left and went out to Alberta and got real jobs.
Good for them.
Then most of them moved back.
Oh. Just a first one thing before we get started, 2 birthday shout-outs.
Yes, birthday shout-outs. We're gonna be telling people to have a happy birthday on the No Holds Barred podcast.
Got 2 birthdays in March. One was my dad's.
Okay.
Turned 61.
61,
the big 6'1".
The big 6'1". For those of you that don't know, Nick's dad is in fact Vince McMahon.
He looks very similar to Vince McMahon.
A little bit.
Yeah, and
we like to call him Vince.
It's kind of scary.
It's kind of scary, but you look at him and it's just like, I bet you're just a big old cuddly teddy bear.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's going to come down and fire me, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And the second birthday is actually Hunter's birthday, which would be my sister's little one.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 3.
He's 3, is he 3 already? Holy
he's 3
cow.
already. The time is flying.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's craziness.
You know what kind of scares me?
What's that?
Hunter is the name of one of the kids in Paranormal Activity 4.
Oh, really?
Your sister's Katie Featherston. Oh, no. Jesus.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
dun, dun.
Well, as he said then, a very happy birthday to Nick's father, as well as, I suppose if he's your sister's son, he would be your nephew.
Yes.
Yes. And Nick's nephew as well. Very good.
Happy birthday. Cheers.
Cheers. Yay.
Yay.
Now we're going to drink alcoholic beverages in your honor.
Always the smart thing to do.
And in 15 years, little 3-year-old Hunter will appreciate what we just did.
Hey.
We drank a beer in his honor.
Drank a beer in his honor. And
Your dad, not so much. I don't think he'll ever enjoy that we did that.
no, I think he would.
Maybe it's a fitting tribute.
Maybe if it was rum and Coke or Kahlua and milk, he would feel a little bit better.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, on. Fair enough. Not much has been going on with me either. Just kind of, this weekend especially, I just kind of chilled out, and there were some fights on Saturday night, so I just kind of watched the fights.
Yeah, I saw you tweeted a little bit about the fights.
A little bit. I'm pretty sure there was like I had 100 some tweets or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm actually surprised.
You always go ape shit on your tweeting.
I kind of do when there's fights on, or when there's a wrestling pay-per-view that I'm watching on my own. I like to tweet about that, or football games. But so I was just watching the UFC fights this weekend. UFC 157, of course, Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche made history. Nick coughed in my face. Made history, first female fighters to have a fight in the UFC, which is very cool. But I ran into some Twitter trouble.
Oh, did you?
I had a little Twitter beef, and it was like the first Twitter beef that I've had in a long-ass time. And my Twitter beef came from a little... Oh, we weren't recording. Dun, dun, dun. I didn't even think about it. Whoops. Sorry to our Ustream viewers that would go to watch the recording of our podcast. We're getting into it 10 minutes in. For the benefit of those with flash photography and the benefit of those who would be trying to watch that video, all we've said so far is we have a wrestling podcast. Go listen to it. And Nick said happy birthday to his dad and his nephew.
Yes.
Good?
Good.
Right on.
Up to date.
Up to date. So I got into a little Twitter beef with some dude from Britain. And this is really the power of social media, because this kid from Britain would have never known who I was and vice versa if it weren't for the Twitter box, which we affectionately call Twitter.
Twitter.
Now,
who are you tweeting to?
We're currently in development for a theme song for Twitter.
140 characters.
For you, Twitter. So this, for lack of a better term, grotty little wanker from Britain, I put out a tweet because I was watching the UFC fights and my stream was getting kind of wonky. It got shut down.
Stop downloading all that porn when you try and watch UFC.
You know, I never do that. I never do it at the same time. I always wait until after the UFC fights to download my porn. So that is bullshit, sir. Yeah. I just pointed in his face twice. So, I was watching the fights and my stream got wonky. So I went to the next link and that one was wonky too. So I was like, uh-oh. The UFC cyber police are on trying to shut down the streamers. So I finally got to a good one. So I sent out the tweet that basically said, and I tweeted it directly to UFC.
Yeah.
I was like, no matter how hard you try, you will never beat the online streamers. Just give it up. I'll watch your product for free and you will like it. And that's what I tweeted at UFC.
Nice.
So about a minute later, I get a tweet from this kid that, for lack of a better term, looked like he was 12. Turns out he goes to university in Britain, and I was like, Jesus, how young are they letting these kids in? And basically, he kind of looked like an AIDS patient.
Oh, really?
Kind of. So I kind of felt a little bad that I got into a bit of a beef with him, but I was like, you know what, whatever. He talks shit, that's what happens. And he basically all he did was he asked me for the link that I was watching my stream at.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? This is relatively benign and it didn't bother me or anything, but I have a purpose in which I say I don't just give my stream out to a random person that asks me for it on Twitter. If somebody I know asks me for the stream, then I'm like, yeah, sure, awesome, go ahead. But if it's somebody random, I don't like giving them the stream because that's how streams get shut down. Somebody's just randomly like, oh, hey, can I have the link? And you give it to them, and it's like, haha, busted, reported. So it's like, I don't want streams to get shut down.
That makes sense.
Like I said, if it was you,
yeah,
I would give it to you because I know you. I give it to you all the time. But like, just, I don't know, just this random little like 12-year-old AIDS patient looking wanker from Britain. And like, I'm not giving you my stream. So I was just like, and I very politely pointed out to him, I was just like, look, I have a policy where I don't give my streams out to random people.
Right.
I was like, a quick search on Google is going to find you a good one.
You don't give them out. You don't cross them. You don't do nothing.
Exactly. We don't cross dicks if we don't know each other. Usually. And then I thought about it and I was just like, and I tweeted back to him again. I was like, besides, you're in Britain. This is being played free on ESPN, which is like basic cable in Britain. Like if you can get to a TV, you can watch this on TV and not have to worry about streaming.
Yeah.
So what do you want a stream link for? So I was just like, you know what? This is kind of fucking fishy. So I was just like, this is my policy. I don't give my stream out to somebody that I don't know. You can find a random one on Google, or you can just go and fucking watch it on television. And that's basically all that I said to him.
Makes sense.
5 minutes later, he tweets me back, and he's just like, boy, that shows good morals. You got good morals. You'll talk to the UFC about how you'll never beat the streamers, and then you won't give your stream to other people. That's good morals. I was just like, how the fuck did this become a morality issue? I don't understand how he got any kind of moral lesson by the fact that I wouldn't give my stream to some random dude that I've never spoken to before. It's like somebody coming up on the street and asking you for $20, and you have no idea who the person is. Just like, why? That's very. If you can explain to me why I should give you $20, maybe I will. But my policy is I don't just randomly give people $20.
I mean, it makes sense.
They could turn around, buy a box of bullets, and shoot me. Why would I do that?
And like you said, he had it free.
Exactly. He could get it for fucking free.
I mean,
Are you telling me there's no TV in your little village, but you somehow have access to Twitter? That doesn't make any sense. That don't make no sense up in my eyes, P. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, but then he gives me attitude like it's a fucking morality issue, and I'm just like, look, dude. But then I was gonna reply, but he blocked me. So I was like, oh, that's cute. He blocked me, and then he deleted the tweets because he's since unblocked me. But I went back, but his tweets aren't on his account anymore.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, you're a little pussy is all you are. You don't even have the balls to say something and then defend it. And then
that's low.
It's teenage mentality, man. It's like I'm going to say this, but then I'm going to delete it because I don't want any of my friends to see what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's like, then get the fuck off Twitter. Honestly.
Basically.
Just fucking get the fuck off Twitter, honestly. But then I realized, hey, wait a minute. I have 2 fucking Twitter accounts because we have a Twitter account for No Holds Barred. So I went back and tweeted at the kid, and I was like, just as an FYI, there's no morality issue in not spreading around free streaming sites. That's how those sites get taken down. And then a second tweet, and deleting your tweets to @blockbuster_guy, which is my Twitter, and blocking, kind of a punk move. It's bad Twittering, bro. If you say something, stand by it. And then he tweeted back with something like, oh, I didn't block him, which, yeah, you did, you little fuckwad. I understand Twitter. I was like, you definitely blocked me. And he's like, I didn't. And then, here you are replying the next day. It's like, you know what? I'm going to get my fucking word in. I'm going to get my word in, son. There's been too many times that I've just been like, I ain't going to say nothing because, I'm better than that. Fuck that noise. I had to get my word in. So I got my word in. So, okay then, mate, on Twitter, you're a little twat. And anybody that's listening to this, please tweet at okay then, mate, on Twitter and tell him that the boys at No Holds Barred Podcast called him a little twat.
Yes.
So that was my weekend.
It sounds like a pretty good weekend.
Battling little British jackasses on Twitter.
I didn't battle nobody. I worked.
Fair enough.
I battled work.
Yeah, you battled work, exactly.
I battled the drunks.
Oh, yeah?
At midnight.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, yes. Always fun.
Sorry, I'll try not to next weekend.
Yeah. Yes.
It definitely wasn't me.
Yeah.
If it would have been me, I would have made a bigger scene. I would have been like, I know that guy. He puked on himself once.
Once?
That's true. My bad. Work has taken on a whole new dynamic for you, because it's now a little more, I'm not going to say necessarily difficult, but more time-consuming for you to get to work. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, I've parked my car ever since February the 15th. Just a
Day
little...
after Valentine's Day. That's so sweet.
I know. Just like, surprise, I can't go visit anybody. Fuck Valentine's Day.
Yeah. You spent Valentine's Day with your car. I think I made this joke before. You were like, I'm going to get up in that exhaust pipe one more time before I park you for a few months.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Here's the thing. For anybody who's listening to this who has a Honda leased vehicle,
okay,
after the first year, they don't check to see if you have insurance on the vehicle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So what I did was, in order to save money and pay off my debt that I have, I've decided to park my vehicle, take the insurance off of it. Now, some people would say that would be kind of dumb to take the whole insurance off the vehicle. But what I've done is I've actually taken that down to my mother's, which is down in the country where nobody's around, and just parked it there. I mean, I go down once in a while just to move it.
Right.
But, it's safe. Everybody.
And to run naked through the forest.
Yes. You see my videos.
No, I hear you on the police scanner.
They haven't caught me yet.
No, but they're trying. Everybody follow Nick the Streaker on Twitter.
I should make that.
Please change your Twitter handle to Nick the Streaker. That'd be great. Not just the name, the handle.
Okay.
No, sorry.
I can do that. Or I'll just make a whole new Twitter account.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's going good. I mean, I've been walking everywhere, but it hasn't really made a difference. I mean, I've been a big walker.
That's true.
Before, so
you're a big boy going for big boy walks.
I know.
Yeah.
So I walk to and from work, and everywhere else I go, I walk, and just in the point of getting healthier, I guess.
True enough.
Yeah.
My eating healthy has been kind of sidetracked lately.
Yeah.
I've kind of been falling back into the snacking a little bit more thing, which I got. It's still not nearly as bad as it used to be, but I'm kind of falling back into it. So I'm just like, I gotta knuckle up like Ryback and just be like, don't feed me more.
Well, me, I haven't actually. I said at the New Year that I was going to try the whole vegan thing.
Right.
I can't cut meat out of the diet. I mean, I can cut it back.
Right.
I can cut it back a lot, but it's just.
Hang on, you're gonna piss off the vegetarians now. Talking about I can't cut meat out of my diet.
Well,
you're gonna piss off the vegetarians. I hope you can live with this.
The vegetarians can be pissed off at me. I give them full right to.
Don't worry, they don't have the energy to chase you.
Nice.
Zing.
Oh. Well,
sorry.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I
I'm sorry. That was completely my fault. I looked at Nick with this big shit-eater grin on my face. That was entirely my fault, and I apologize to the listening audience.
Moving on. What do we have?
You got some more stuff that you are going to talk about. You did your birthday shout-outs, and you did that you had your car parked. You got... But okay, you got rid of your car, but you got a new piece of technology that's making your life hell.
Yes, making my life a living hell. I've got a new phone.
You do?
LG Optimus G, which is the exact same bloody phone as you have.
Exactly.
I saw your phone and I'm like, ooh, that's nice. Mm-hmm. So I went down and tried to get it. Now, here's the one thing that pissed me off.
Okay.
In order to get this phone, you have to have a data package.
Yeah, and I didn't like that either. And it doesn't matter what carrier you're with, because I'm with TELUS and he's with Bell.
Yeah.
But you have to have, with me anyways, I had to have a minimum $50 overall package.
Yeah.
Which has to include data.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that was fine. I was paying for data on my previous phone anyway, so it didn't matter to me. But like the fact that like it had to bump up to a $50 minimum package that included data. Because and I was just like
data, I guess like they said it offsets the price of the phone.
Apparently.
To get it for the discounted price.
Which it never used to, but apparently that's the way that they play things now.
And I hate it because Wi-Fi is such a big thing now, which is just, you can go pretty much everywhere and get Wi-Fi, so why have data?
Exactly. But, think about it this way, and this just dawned on me. Remember how they used to have a $6.95 system access fee?
Yeah.
You know how we don't have that anymore?
Yeah.
What has it been replaced with? You can't get this phone unless you have a data plan.
It's true.
So instead of a $6.95 system access fee, now they're stiffing you for at least $10 on data. So they got rid of that, but now they're making $3.05 more on everybody per month because you don't have system access, but now you have to have a data plan.
True.
Fuck you, phone companies. Anyways,
it pissed me off because it bumped me up from paying $27.50 a month,
right? Which is nothing,
up to about $57.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you're talking an extra $30 a month
for data
out of your pocket for something that you're very rarely going to use.
And I rarely use it. I mean, the only really time I use it is if I'm in the car with somebody and I want to pop on the net to check Facebook.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Download my emails or something like that.
Exactly.
I mean, anywhere else, I can go to a Tim Hortons, I can go to McDonald's, I can walk around and find unsecure networks that fuckfaces doesn't know how to secure their fucking routers.
Well, exactly.
It's
and believe
everywhere.
me, they're everywhere.
I know. People are just like, I got a new router, plug it in, go on the internet. You walk around, you're like, Linksys and default. Well, these don't have passwords.
Exactly. Clearly, this person has not set up shit for their network. No, but it's true, and that actually now that the more I think about that, the more that's really just kind of a piss off, and it's just like, again, for me, it didn't really matter because I was paying for data anyway.
Yeah,
but like, just fucking silly, and especially now where you have people that carry phones that can be turned into Wi-Fi hotspots.
That's like Derek. He has actually a grandfathered old plan that has unlimited data.
Ooh, very nice.
So like anytime I'm near him and want to go on the internet and there's no Wi-Fi, I'm like, can you do a hotspot for me? He's like, sure, go on.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck.
It's insane.
In short, fuck the phone companies.
Yep.
And it's also so weird because, like you said, we have the exact same phone. Mine is 2 months older than yours because I got it back in December. And you're having problems with yours that I haven't even heard of with mine.
It has to be a hardware issue.
Right.
Or software issue. I mean, my Wi-Fi isn't that good most of the time. When I turn it off, it forgets the Wi-Fi passwords.
Right.
Battery life is complete shit.
Yeah.
So I'm going down tomorrow, and I'm going to look him straight in the face, and I'm going to be like, fix my phone, bitch.
Exactly. Just be like, you've already been lampooned on No Holds Barred podcast once. Don't let it happen again. That's exactly what you're going to do, and you're going to look at him with the fucking crazy eyes.
And they're going to be like, what?
You're going to be like, I'm crazy.
I'm crazy.
And they'll be like, I believe you. I'm Batman. You're tearing me apart, Tellus. Or Bell, actually,
Bell.
sorry. Tellus has been okay, guys. Not great, but not bad. Guess what time it is?
What time?
It's time for the internet famous Craigslist segment.
Whoa.
Craigslist. We go on here because we can't get sex in real life. Craigslist. But we're actually talking to guys. Now, that's the Craigslist theme song. So now we've picked out some Craigslist articles here. Again, if you've never listened to the podcast before, this is what happens. We go on Craigslist on the casual encounters women for men section of the Halifax Craigslist page.
Yes.
Because honestly, that's where the funniest shit goes down. So we've got five ads, I suppose you'd have to call them, not articles, they're ads. 5 ads that have been posted here that we think are kind of funny. So we're going to pull them up and make fun of them because remember, most of these people are actually guys. So the first article we have here is titled Strictly Discipline.
Strictly?
Okay, the word strictly is not in there, but the title of it is Discipline. This was posted on February 22nd. I'm looking for an older man that would enjoy and be interested in strictly disciplining me. Now, see? The word strictly is in there. Fuck you.
Okay.
I'm looking for an older man that would enjoy and be interested in. Do you really have to make that distinction? Like, I enjoy this, but I am bored as all sin. Or like, I'm really interested in this, but it's terrible. I'm interested, but I don't like it at all. Like, that's really the equivalent of a car crash. And I don't think anybody. We have
really
to bear in mind
need it in there.
that this girl, wink wink, is claiming to only be 19, so maybe she's just that dumb. Maybe she's just like, there's a big distinction here that I need to make on this ad on Craigslist. At the very least, she's using proper like punctuation and capitalization and all that stuff. Giving me a good hard spanking and then in brackets, caning, belting.
Ooh.
So it's like, okay, so, well, you know, at the very least, you know synonyms for spanking, and that's very nice. MSG me if interested. Why are all these ads talking about Chinese food?
I have no idea.
I don't get it. All these ads are just like, put MSG on my bum and then spank me. And get the MSG all over your hands so that they get preserved. Like, I don't know. I don't understand this. It's like, she wants the MSG there so he'll be hungry for more spanking in an hour. I don't understand. I don't understand why you want all this MSG all over your butts. Well, you got an old man spanking you. People are crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy. We're going to go to the next article. The next article is titled Used Panties.
Ooh. Used panties.
And there's a picture of a lovely young female that I'm sure was grabbed somewhere from Google image search.
Does she have used panties on?
She's wearing panties,
She's
so
wearing
those,
panties,
by definition, I suppose technically are used panties.
Maybe they're used panties.
You know, yeah, maybe she was just like, I'm gonna head down to Guy's Frenchies and I'm gonna buy them panties. It's just like, you know what? If you're here's a segue. If you buy panties at a used clothing store, you know your life took a wrong turn somewhere, because it's just like, I gotta buy used underwear because I can't afford I don't even know how much panties cost. Like just the bottom of the barrel granny panties. Like,
well,
they can't cost too much. Well, why would I know? Exactly. It's not like I buy them for myself for Christmas. Shifty eyes. Shut up. Cute, petite, 21-year-old Dal student. Oh, those Dal. Those crazy Dalhousie students. Selling her panties. You really don't have to refer to yourself in the third person, my dear. And then she refers to herself in the first person later on in the same thing. This article is grammatically incorrect. This is an incomplete narrative, and I don't like it. Selling her panties until Saturday only, because after Saturday, I just can't keep offering this deal. It's like a guy that's on an infomercial. It's like, we can only offer this deal for the next 6 minutes.
Selling your panties until Saturday only, and then they catch on fire.
Yeah, then they catch on fire, and I disappear like the Wicked Witch of the West. BF is out of town for reading break, and I'm sure he's so proud to be with you. I'm sure he is so proud that his lady, his classy lady, is going to be like, I'm going to sell my panties on Craigslist.
And I'm sure he's out of town for a reading break, too.
Yeah. He's down in Cuba fucking some prostitute. Plenty of options. Okay. Size extra small and small. Who are you trying to convince?
That picture don't look like an extra small.
That picture do not look like extra small, my dear. I'm sorry. If that was extra small, that would have you sucked up like me in a pair of blue jeans from high school. Like that would have. You've heard of Muffin Top? That's the fucking whole bakery. That's what that would be, and that ain't what that is. There's no goddamn way those are extra small or small. Email me for specific requests for panties. Well, you've only told us that there's plenty of options, so anybody that has a specific request, you're just going to be like, I don't have those. Because we don't know. Make your clients aware of your product.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy to indulge. We'll meet you at a coffee shop on Spring Garden for discreet exchange. Will. Oh. W-I-L-L. Oh, yeah, Will. It's multiple people for a panty drop. A coffee shop on Spring Garden. So that has to mean either Starbucks. There's a Second Cup on Spring Garden. Yeah. There's a little coffee shop there beside McDonald's. No, that's a little sandwich shop.
Well, they serve coffee too.
Well, it's true. If it's strictly a coffee shop, there's a Tim Hortons there too.
Yeah.
So there's only 3 options for one of those places, and you better hope you like the same kind of coffee as this panty selling bitch, or else you're not getting them. For a discreet exchange, here's my panties, you pervert. That's the discreet exchange that happens.
Oh yes.
Note, and there you go, she changes tense. She's now in the first person, which grammatically incorrect. I am only is in capital letters, selling panties. No other services /NSA, sorry.
Oh.
But what if I'm in the coffee shop, you sold me the panties, you're giving me the panties, I got the panties out of the bag, and I'm going all over them, and I want a handy under the desk. You're telling me you're not going to give me a handy under the desk? That's terrible. That's cold.
For the right kind of money.
Maybe for the right money, but yeah, that's cold, bitch. That's cold. Have a great day. Ooh, we sure will. All right, moving on to the next one.
Moving on.
Need a BBBJ tonight. What, do you got a stuttering problem with the...
Big bad blowjob?
Big booty daddy. Scott Steiner, the big booty daddy.
Big booty daddy.
Something or other. Maybe so.
Jane something. I don't
something
know
like
what's going on.
I don't know what it is, but I know it's tasty. Hey there, guys.
Hi.
What's up? Looking for a BJ tonight? Not really. We're kind of in the middle of podcasting here.
Yeah, I know, but thank you for asking.
Yeah. If so, I'm perfect for the job. Not big nor small, just right.
Just right.
Well, okay. The title alludes to BBBJ, which I'm assuming, like you said, is Big Beautiful Blowjob. So she's basically identified herself as a BBW.
Yeah.
A big, beautiful woman, for those of you that aren't perverts. I am. So she's like, not big nor small, just right. Well, that's clearly a lie. If you've identified yourself as a big, beautiful woman, you are lying to us. I just want some honesty on Craigslist. Can this guy just
get it?
Can this person just tell me he's a guy and just fucking end the charade? Why not message now? Well, as I kind of said, we're kind of in the middle of podcasting here. Cannot host?
Cannot host what?
Cannot host. So she's either telling me she can't host, or she's asking if I can't host.
Host what?
For a small donation, will to travel within reason. So this ad hurts my head. Is
she a traveling circus? What's going on?
I don't know what you're saying. Moving on. Does not compute. So this is a new article which is called Submissive BBW. So here you go. She's identified that she is a BBW. Please do not be like, I'm not too big or not too small. I'm sure she knows what she is. Exactly that.
Okay.
Moving on. Fuck this side. And there's a picture of a vagina. Okay. This is an article entitled "Looking for some S-U-M" for all our math fans out there. Some, sine, cosine.
Cos. Tan.
Cos was cosine, wasn't it?
I think.
Tan.
Tangent.
Mr. Jodry. Looking for some random... Mr. Jodry was our math teacher in high school. Just to let you know. Hey, I'm just looking for some random dick, not too worried about looks. Yeah, that's a fucking pipe dream. I'm 23, good shape. Well, from the look of that picture, you kind of got fat fucking fingers, my dear. So, you're like, oh, good shape. Okay. With good sized tits. Well, we can't really tell from your picture. I love to suck cock and get my putty eaten. You heard that right, folks. Putty? Get my putty eaten. Putty. So I can only assume she got some silly putty for Christmas, and she wants to see you eat it before she gonna do anything. Bonifa knows what she likes, and Bonifa don't play.
I mean, maybe it's Play-Doh. That shit's edible.
That's true. It is edible. See, you can make donuts out of it.
I know.
And spaghetti, yeah.
It's awesome.
And crescent moons. Be under 25.
Oh.
So she wants to be. How old is she?
Well, that gets me out of the
She's
picture.
23. Oh, she's from Shelburne. No wonder she can't fucking spell.
Ouch.
Yeah. Zing to Shelburne. Be under 25. Send face cock pic. I'll send mine back. Well, I can right click and save the picture that you just. What other picture can you possibly send me?
Yeah.
You got a picture of your cooter right here on Craigslist. What else do I need, really?
It's really nothing. I mean, maybe a tit shot.
Maybe, but I can find boobs anywhere. I can't travel, but I got a place. Well, everybody wants to place when they're in the Olympics. So, I mean, she got a place.
She got a place.
I got a place. They sling crack at the back door.
She can't travel, though.
She can't travel.
So she's no good.
No, she's house arrest. That's why she can't travel.
I mean, what good is a bitch if they can't travel? I mean, they can't go to the store for you. They can't buy beer for you. I mean, what's the point?
I want some goddamn Doritos, but you can't leave your house. What good was this?
What good was this?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our Craigslist segment for this week. We'll try to do better next week.
Definitely.
Definitely?
Seriously.
So a couple of quick hit things we want to get into before we get into the main event. Just recently, within the last couple of weeks, everybody knows about the Westboro Baptist Church, that fucking hate group down in the state that's like God hates fags, and they picket the funerals of dead soldiers and everything like that. Well, chalk one up for the good guys in this case. Megan Phelps-Roper, who is a young lady, a member of the Phelps family, who is basically, I think, established to be like the next one in line after somebody slits Fred Phelps' fucking throat.
Right.
She was going to be like the next in line to take over Westboro Baptist Church. She left the church.
Good for her.
Exactly. She was like, you know what? We have done things that have hurt people, and we have injured families, and this is not what God wants. I'm leaving the church. And when I heard this, I fucking cheered, because it's just like, if one person in the Phelps family can just be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't picket the funerals of dead soldiers saying that God hates them, or God loves MOABs, or God loves explosives that kill soldiers and shit like this. If you can get one person in the Phelps family to be like, you know what, this is bullshit and I'm leaving the church, awesome. Because the church is only 40 people. So, I mean, that's 2.5% of the whole church that just leaves with one person. And where she was sort of like the heir apparent to be the next person to lead the Westboro Baptist Church, I was so fucking happy. I could have kissed her. I would have been so happy. I was just so happy that she left the church. Definitely. And it's just like, and Fred's like, she's an idolater and she's terrible. She's the devil now. And it's like, it's your fucking daughter. Yeah. And you're going to say this shit about your daughter just because she doesn't believe in your bullshit anymore? Like, this just fucking terrible. So, I mean, I was so happy that Megan Phelps-Roper decided to leave.
They should all leave it.
They should just be like, you know what? Maybe this is horse shit and we shouldn't be following it anymore.
Yeah.
It's because that's what it is. It's fucking horse shit. You shouldn't be following it anymore.
People can get brainwashed.
You know, and you know what? That's exactly what Fred Phelps is. He's just a dude that brainwashes people. And you wanted to bitch about something too.
I wanted to bitch about something. It's been on YouTube. It's been trending. It's been getting billions and billions of views. I'm talking
Whoop
about
on Gangnam Style?
No, this is stupider than that.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, at least Gangnam Style has a message behind it.
Yep.
Anyways, go ahead.
This is called the Harlem Shake.
The Harlem Shake.
The Harlem Shake. Have you ever seen the Harlem Shake?
Actually, I haven't. I've heard of it, but it's one of those things where, like, I resisted Gangnam Style for so long before I finally watched it, and I was just like, all right, I can understand sort of the validity behind it, but it's still fucking stupid. I'm still resisting the Harlem Shake, so I have not seen it yet.
Good. You're lucky, and I applaud you, because...
As everyone should, every day.
The Harlem Shake is... I can't even describe it. It's so stupid. I mean, I saw it. It was trending, so I'm like, what the hell is this?
Right.
So, of course, a 30-second video, I had to,
Well, it's only 30 seconds, so...
Try and figure out what the shit is.
Hell, I get thousands of people to watch 20-minute videos on my channel, so you might as well spend 30 seconds watching that. But yes, go ahead.
So, let me break down this video.
Nick's going to break it down.
Okay. You know those songs that kind of like... It starts off with low techno, low beat, and then it starts to pick up until it's like rave kind of beat. Yeah, yes, we know.
Yes.
That's kind of like what it is. It has one guy dancing to like slow beat, and then it starts to pick up, and then. Most people don't do it right because it's a cut frame.
Okay.
And then it just cuts to like a whole bunch of people in the exact same frame dancing. And it's so bloody stupid. I mean, it's not like any kind of synchronized dancing routine.
Right.
It's just like people doing the craziest bloody things, which to me, it doesn't even look like they're dancing.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
Just freak out.
Yeah, it's not like a choreographed flash mob kind of thing or anything.
It's just like people like flailing around, and it's not even dancing.
So it's like the seizure shake.
Yes.
Okay.
And I had to laugh because there was a video put out of actually. I don't know if it was a news crew down in Harlem. They were showing people the Harlem Shake down in Harlem. And they're just like...
Did they get shot?
No. Just like...
Are you sure they were in Harlem?
Yeah. Just like, no, that's not the Harlem Shake.
Okay.
And just kind of...
so the Harlem Shake is an actual thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the Harlem Shake is an actual thing.
Okay, so this isn't just some idiots like you and me being like, I know what we can do on YouTube to go viral. Like, the Harlem Shake is an actual thing in Harlem. Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, a lot of people say, the original Harlem Shake is lame and our Harlem Shake is so much better. It's just like, no, it's not. Stop trying to copy shit and make it your own.
Stop being a dick.
And I mean, people out there, if you see the shit going on, and it's like, I want a piece of that action too. I want to put this up and get millions of views on it just because it's trending on YouTube. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
eat a dick.
Screw off and let shit die that's stupid and immature, and I can't even.
No, exactly.
Say more on this topic because
if you
it's
want
so stupid.
Yeah, if you want to be famous on YouTube, do it my way. Do it my way. Start with nothing. Hit multiple roadblocks and disappointments until you're spat out the bottom of the porn industry. That's the way you make money on YouTube. All right? Are we clear on that? Awesome.
Speaking of YouTube, I've heard that you have a new venture that you signed on for.
Yes. Something else. Something I'm going to be working on the channel, which is actually a reboot of something that we were doing prior. Believe it or not, the videos that I had been doing with Tyler
Really?
are going to be making a comeback. Some of them. It's just kind of the main one that we were sort of doing, the one that was more like story based and stuff like that. And that's kind of the way that I described it on the video. And again, even on the podcast here, I don't want to give too many details away, because I think when people on my channel that are used to seeing me sitting in a chair talking about sports see what we do, I think it'll just be a total fucking like they're just gonna total mind blown, because it's complete 180, right?
Right.
But yes, so that's the big thing, and apparently that's going to be coming back, and it's not going to be like a once a week thing or anything like that, like with the podcast. Right. I think we're talking about like at most one every couple of weeks, probably one every month, because it's something that we really want to. We got to storyboard this whole thing. Like, it's just something that we got to actually spend the time to make sure that it's got like a cohesive storyline and we're doing it right. And
right.
It's like booking wrestling. Like, we want to make sure that what we do here isn't going to screw us to where we want to get here. You know what I mean? So, if that makes any sense at all. But yes, so we're gonna be starting that up again. So I'm real excited to get that going. Something I wasn't quite so excited about, and this is probably going to comprise the rest of the podcast, I would say, or pretty close to it anyways. And again, we can probably be claimed that we're not always no holds barred. It's time to get no holds barred. Mr. Glenn Beck. Now, if you know anything about me or Nick, because we kind of feel the same way on a lot of things and stuff like that, I don't think we would exactly be the kind of people that someone would describe as conservative.
Not really, no. In
like political theory or social theory or anything like that. I don't exactly think we would be the kind of people that would be considered to be conservative either. Certainly not big C, because the big C in the Canadian Conservative Party stands for cunt. Mm-hmm. And or big C or little c. Well, Glenn Beck decided recently to take a fucking swing at pro wrestling.
That's something that you don't do.
Out of nowhere, he decided to take a fucking swing at pro wrestling because he didn't like that he either turned on the television or probably didn't even, because of just like the stuff right at the beginning of this that I'm going to mention, but basically heard it through the grapevine or heard secondhand knowledge or whatever and then went back and watched it. That he feels that WWE took a swing at the Tea Party. Or as I like to call them in the States, the Teabag Party. He thinks that, and of course we're talking about Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. Now,
We the people.
Now, again, we have a wrestling podcast that's really dedicated to talking about pro wrestling. This, to me, completely transcends pro wrestling. This talks about the political environment down in the States, so I'm not afraid to talk about it here. Glenn Beck basically went off for about 15 to 20 minutes talking about the angle with Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter, where he's like, Swagger's like, I'm a real American, and Zeb Coulter, who is a Vietnam veteran, by the way, just a reminder to everybody, kind of, going off and essentially, right. we call a spade a spade. Zeb Coulter's promo was racist, essentially. But at the same time, completely underlying everything that can be said about it, it's wrestling.
It's wrestling. It's a storyline.
Exactly. And you know what? No, wrestling, just the fact that it's wrestling doesn't give them carte blanche to do whatever they want. And they found out about that when they had Triple H get in a casket wearing a cane mask and fuck a fake corpse. They found that out. Yeah. That it's just like, okay, it's wrestling. It doesn't give us carte blanche to do whatever we want. But you know what? What happened with Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter and the promos that they've been cutting, well within the boundaries of where professional wrestling has gone beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what? This, to me, was a 100% fair game. But people like Glenn Beck and the asswipe conservatives that are in the United States, and yeah, I called them asswipe conservatives, and I'll call them asswipe conservatives until the day I fucking die, because that's what they are. The asswipe conservatives down in the States are like, oh, Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter attack the Tea Party. They're attacking the Tea Party platforms, and they're making fun of the Tea Party and everything like that. Nick, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
You've listened to every promo, I would imagine, that Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter have given since they started.
Right.
You've essentially listened to every promo they've given.
Yeah.
Have they once referred to themselves as Tea Party members?
Not at all.
Have they once referenced anything really that the Tea Party politically has done?
No.
Do they reference anything and directly tie it into the Tea Party?
No. And CM Punk was not in that video.
No. And CM Punk what? What do you mean CM Punk was not in that video?
Paul Heyman video.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah, fair enough.
Go back.
Go back. Got to think about this here. Don't derail me. I'm going to fuck Glenn Beck here with a fucking rusty dick. Just. Have they ever said the word tea in any of their promos?
Absolutely not.
Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger do not represent the fucking Tea Party.
They do not.
How many times do we have to say this? They do not directly represent the Tea Party in any way, shape, or form. If you are watching or listening to the promos and think, hey, they're making fun of the Tea Party, maybe it's because you think what they're saying is representative of certain things that the Tea Party also says. And if that's the case, maybe they're a fucking group you shouldn't follow. Because if they're saying anything like what Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger are saying, but they're saying it in an actual political format, how about you don't support them?
How about not? Because I understand what Jack Swagger and Coulter are saying. It's a storyline.
Exactly.
And if that's matching up what the Tea Party is saying, they're real.
Yeah, exactly. The Tea Party is fucking real. They're a real political party. If you think this is what they're saying, and you know what? I don't even think it's what they're saying. I have not ever listened to a speech from someone who's from the Tea Party and thought those fuckers are racist.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not what the Tea Party says at all. But this is the problem. These conservatives are so butthurt that someone is making a little bit of fun of them that they look at them and be like, they're mocking the Tea Party. They're making it hard for my family to express my beliefs. Fuck you. No, they're not. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just silly. And I want to go ahead here and I want to quote some of the things that Jack Swagger said, some of the things that Glenn Beck said, not only about how these guys supposedly represent the Tea Party, but just some of the things that he said about wrestling. And this is really what started really pissing me off here. Again, everything that has to be premised here by saying Glenn Beck states right at the beginning of the fucking video that he has no authority to speak about professional wrestling whatsoever because he doesn't watch it.
Because he doesn't watch it?
He doesn't watch it. He does not watch professional wrestling. So he's like, we have no authority whatsoever, and he claims this right at the beginning. We have no authority to talk whatsoever about professional wrestling because we don't watch it. Okay? Is that understandable for you?
He understands professional wrestling is story-based.
I don't know. I would imagine, but I apparently I can't say for sure because he seems to think that this is awful super serial, bro. But he starts right ahead by claiming, I don't have any authority to talk about wrestling because I don't watch it. Mm. And then he proceeds for the next 15 minutes to talk about professional wrestling. But he's already stated he has no authority to do so because he doesn't watch it. So already he shot himself in the foot. Let's just remind everybody, Glenn Beck is somebody that as a journalist was not credible enough for Fox News. Fox News is the circus of professional news. And they even looked at Glenn Beck and was like, yo, you're not credible enough for us. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
That should tell everyone who listens to Glenn Beck, that should tell them something. That Fox News was like, yo, you're not credible. And he believes everything that Fox News believes. But they even went and said he wasn't credible. So basically, and you know, if his comments weren't so fucking ignorant and stupid, I would ignore them entirely.
Yeah.
But they're so worthy of rebuttal that we're just gonna head right into them. So again, first he says they have a character, Jack Swagger, that demonizes the Tea Party. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter do not represent the Tea Party.
No.
Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter are characters on a television show that represents Southern, racist, conservative asswipes, but don't directly represent any one political party. Because there's a big difference that can be made between political party and individual thought and opinions.
Nailed it.
Glenn, there's a difference to be made there. Maybe there isn't for you, but there's a difference to be made there. Look, I voted in the last time that I voted. I can't even remember when it was. The last time I voted NDP. I'll go right out and say it. I voted NDP. NDP is basically not quite as liberal as the Liberals. Or maybe they're more liberal than the Liberals. I can't. They're a little more of a centrist party than the Liberals. But it doesn't mean I agree with everything the NDP has done. I just thought they would do a slightly better job than the other two turd polishing parties. And I thought they polished their turd a little bit better. So that's why I voted for them. And that's really all that elections are. But just because I voted for them and I associate with that party doesn't mean that I believe everything that they believe. And Glenn clearly hasn't made that distinction.
No.
So, you know, it just again, character demonizes the Tea Party. No, it doesn't. So there's your first assumption that's incorrect. And he claims he can't take criticism from, quote, the stupid wrestling people. And this fucking got under my skin. Because the stupid wrestling people, there has been one industry since the 60s, the 50s, the 40s that has taken characters as a microcosm of society and used them to tell stories, and that's professional fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
You talk about the stupid wrestling people, and I know he's talking about both the people in the company as well as the fans. I hate to break it to you, Glenn. A lot of your listeners are probably WWE fans.
Almost definitely.
WWE has a global reach, and I know you understand that. But their viewership is massive. Like, you're talking about millions of people that watch that show every week, multiple times a week. And in, it's a lot of countries, and it's just the quote unquote WWE universe is massive. So for you to generalize all of them as quote unquote the stupid wrestling people, I really hope your viewership takes a huge dive, because what you've done is you've insulted the majority of your audience, which you're also claiming that this program does, because he made a point that he said, I think most of WWE's viewership are Southerners, because he's like, I don't see like Harvard educated individuals watching WWE, and I'll fucking get to that in a second. Really? But so he's like, I would imagine most of the audience is Southern, and they're making fun of it in this program. You just did that to a lot of your fan base.
Wow.
Guaranteed. Because you're like, the stupid wrestling people, including a bunch of my viewers that watch WWE. So he's just done the exact same thing. Because he's too stupid to realize that he doesn't have good things to say. He just has opinions to say and wants to fucking hear himself talk. Oh, Glenn, we're barely even getting started. When WWE goes against the Tea Party, it's like NASCAR going against the Tea Party.
Well, first, let me kick in there because NASCAR probably don't have as many fans as the WWE.
Oh, and this is another point that he made. He's like, NASCAR viewership is like. He's like, NASCAR viewership is up here, and he puts his hand way up. And he's like, WWE viewership is like way down here. I was like, you want to crunch the numbers on that, Chief? Like, NASCAR runs 32 weeks a year. WWE runs 52 weeks a year. Do your math. That's all the weeks of the year.
Yeah.
He's clinically retarded. It's not that nobody watches NASCAR. A lot of people watch NASCAR. Hell, I watched NASCAR this weekend.
Yeah, I did too.
But for him to be like, NASCAR's viewership is huge and WWE's is nothing. You want to check some of the attendance statistics on the last couple of WrestleManias? We're talking like 80,000 people, 70,000 people.
Definitely.
1 million pay-per-view buys. And that's one show in one day of 365. You fucking moron. Like... just and exactly that. So he's just like, oh yeah, but the point that he was making was like, because NASCAR is a very southern thing. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The people that they have on talking, like the commentators, all very thick, heavy southern accents. All the drivers tend to be southerners. They do the best showings at the races on southern racetracks. It's a very southern kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he's saying like it's like NASCAR making fun of the Tea Party because they're taking all the southern conservatives and they're making fun of them because only southerners watch NASCAR. So again, he's going and just fucking generalizing all over the place, which I find conservatives do so much more frequently than liberals do. General blanket statements so they can just kind of toss them out there and not worry about the little intricacies of what they're saying.
Right.
I'm just going to toss a blanket statement out there and that's that. And again, not all conservatives do that, and this is the fucking distinction that makes between myself and Glenn Beck. Not all conservatives do that, but the majority of them do. But he's not willing to say that. He's willing to just be like, all. No exception. No and then.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with you, Glenn. All the statements you make are just blanket general statements, and they really don't hold any weight anywhere. So he brought NASCAR into it because he's a fucking moron. And let's just for a quick second, and I know we're running over time here, but you know what? Fuck it.
Screw it.
He goes on to say, and again, this was part of what I mentioned there.
Right.
I don't know how many Harvard-educated people watch WWE. And what he means when he says that is he doesn't think many people in the north of the U.S., because there's a big culture divide there, right, between the North and the South. Always has been, dating all the way back to the Civil fucking War.
Almost definitely.
There's always been a big culture shock between the northern part of the U.S., which tends to be very affluent and very well educated and sort of think their farts don't stink. That's the northern part of the states, whereas the southern part of the states proudly sniff their own farts. And don't tend necessarily to be as well educated and things like that. Those are the stereotypes anyways. So basically what he's saying is like the educated North in the States is much less likely to watch WrestleMania or to watch wrestling.
Okay.
I want to tell you something, motherfucker. I might come on here and curse a lot on a podcast, or sometimes I try to speak very, I speak in accents and try to act like I'm stupid, whatever. I have 2 university degrees, spent 5 years in university. I tend to think I'm relatively well educated. I've been watching professional wrestling since I was 6. I did a high-level university course paper on professional wrestling, on American the displays of Americana in professional wrestling, talking about how like Hulk Hogan represented like that image of the real American and everything like, and Sergeant Slaughter, and talked about the Iron Sheik and talked about all this stuff, because you know what? Professional wrestling has valid fucking things to say. It's not just stupid dummies running headfirst into each other.
Oh God, no.
The storytelling aspect of professional wrestling has a lot of things to say about culture, and it has for decades, Glenn, you jock-sniffing son of a bitch. You're too stupid to realize this because you don't watch wrestling. Like you said right at the beginning of this thing, well, I don't watch wrestling, so I'm not qualified to talk about it. So why did you talk about it for the next 15 minutes?
Right.
Just ridiculous. So, I mean, he says that, people in the North, they don't really watch pro wrestling because they're educated. Well, fuck you. I went to school in the North in the States. I knew a lot of professional wrestling fans at the University of Maine in Presque Isle. There were multiple. I know. I had them over to my house watching episodes of Raw. Mm-hmm. So I know that there were intelligent people watching professional wrestling. And you can watch professional wrestling and break it down intellectually, because the intellectual aspects of pro wrestling are there, Glenn, you moron. So, again, another basic blanket general statement that is shown to be completely false. Where's WrestleMania this year?
WrestleMania?
What state is it in?
Oh, God.
I know. It's in New York. Where's New York? Duh, it's in the North, Glenn. And they've sold out. We're talking 80,000 people in a fucking football stadium. How many of those people do you think are local? I would imagine a lot of them.
A lot.
So there blows your whole theory, you moron. But don't worry, he had plenty more theories. Claims that the angle paints Vietnam veterans as crazy racists. And says, that's an original idea. They haven't been done like that for a long time. And I sort of understand what he's saying here, because, like, you see, like, an episode of Family Guy or something. Yeah. You see the Vietnam vet roll up in the wheelchair, and he's like, I've seen some things, man, and some stuff. I wouldn't recommend it. And, like, the way that they sort of treated Vietnam veterans on an episode of King of the Hill, they're not treated very favorably.
Right. Because
revisionist history has gone and said, oh, the Vietnam War was so pointless and the people that fought in it were idiots and blah, 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 blah. So I completely agree with him on the one case that Vietnam veterans aren't always painted in the best light. And he's like, that character claims to be a Vietnam veteran, and he's coming out here saying all these racist things. Dutch fucking Mantell was in Vietnam. Legit. Was in fucking Vietnam. He is a Vietnam veteran. So you think if he really thought that what he was saying was painting his legacy as a member of the United States Army in a negative light, you think he'd be doing it?
Right.
No,
he wouldn't be.
There's no fucking way. So there's another Glenn Beck theory blown out the window, because Dutch Mantell is a friggin' Vietnam veteran. So just, again, this is what
this guy does not think.
He does not think his shit through. He's just one of these guys that lives to hear himself talk, which I can be accused of.
He gets a piece of paper out and he says, how can I fuck myself today?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. He wakes up in the morning, he fucking turns off the tape of the Justin Bieber concert he fell asleep to, and he gets a pen and he sits at the table. He's like, how can I say some stupid shit and ruin my credibility today? How can I say something that's going to get me on Jon Stewart tonight? Like that's basically the way that Glenn Beck lives. Then he moves away from wrestling.
Oh boy.
Thank God. He moves away from talking about wrestling and starts dishing on some of his political theories. He goes out and claims... actually, first of all, before he does that, he made fun of Jack Swagger's lisp.
Did he?
Because the way Jack Swagger talks, he talks with a lisp. So he's like, and he says the part where Jack Swagger's like, I want to introduce a friend of mine, like the very first promo they ever did.
Yeah.
And he's just making fun of the fact that Jack Swagger talks with a lisp. Speaking of original ideas, you dick, you're the first person that's ever made fun of Jack Swagger for speaking with a lisp. You talk about painting Vietnam veterans in a negative light as not being original. How about that, you fucking idiot? Anyways, how many times we should put up a fuck counter on this thing? Like, how many times have I said fuck in this whole thing?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot, because like I say, this is as no holds barred with this shit as I have ever been. So after he makes fun of Jack Swagger's lisp and proves himself to be even more of an idiot than I thought. Again, he goes into some of his political theories. He claims that the government, the U.S. government, are villainous for not making people speak English that come into the country.
Really?
Like, basically immigrants. He's like, the government are villainous because they don't make them speak English.
Why the fuck would they make them speak English if it's not their native language?
His justification is, you can get a lot further in the States if you speak English. And I'm not necessarily going to argue that point. But it doesn't mean that the government should force people to speak good English to come into the country. You know what that is? That's fucking fascism. And sometimes it's hard to draw the line between conservatism and fascism. Sometimes it's very difficult to draw that line. But again, he says the government are villainous for not making people speak English. He goes on to claim that Spanish-speaking only classes in school, like when kids are like, you go into, like, let's say your math class.
Right. And
if the math class is like basically all Hispanics and maybe 2 or 3 who are non-Hispanic, some teachers will say, okay, this is going to be a Spanish-only speaking class.
Right.
So that the Spanish kids are learning math in Spanish. Okay? And yes, I did slap my forehead there, and I think you can even hear it on the podcast.
That looks like a good spike.
That looks like a good spike. And he says that cripples Spanish immigrants and makes them slaves.
Why?
Because it doesn't force them to speak English, which he thinks the government should do. Because fuck your own culture, you're in America now.
Yeah, I know.
If you don't like it, you can get out.
That's retarded, and yeah.
Just this guy, like, I just can't.
I don't know what's up with him, but I don't like it.
Yeah, he really has a bug up his ass, and he's just like, if the government's not going to force people to speak English, here's where it gets even worse. He says we become Canada. He said this. He said, if we don't force them to speak English, we become Canada, because in Canada they have English and French. And then he's like, well, and we see how well that works out because Quebec tries to secede from the country every year. Speaking of talking about something you have no right and no point whatsoever in talking about, let's talk about the French separatist movement in Canada, because he knows all kinds of stuff about that, apparently. And it's just like, he brings up this point, and it's just like, how many things are you going to say, basically, or at least allude to the fact that you have no right to talk about them, but then you're just going to proceed to talk about them? How many times are you going to do that in this rant, Glenn? How many times are you going to prove yourself unequivocally to be a moron? So he starts talking about guns out of nowhere. Because he's just like, one thing that Zeb Coulter said, he's like, we have the right to protect and defend our country.
Right.
And then Glenn Beck's like, there, he's talking about guns. No, he's not.
No, he's
not. He's talking about defending the country. He's talking about protecting the country. That doesn't necessarily mean guns, you fucking moron. But since you're conservative, you love to talk about guns. You love to talk about, the liberals trying to take our guns away. Because you can't take guns away from Americans, because then who would get shot? Right? Like, God damn it. He just starts, and just, Glenn Beck is just such a tool. There's a couple of things on here a couple other things on here to finish. There was one guy, because it's like, when Glenn Beck does his radio show, it's him and it's 2 other people who basically just sit there and is just like, yes, Mr. Glenn. Yes, Mr. Glenn. Please take out your pee-pee and I will suck it, Mr. Glenn. I love all of your opinions because you get me on the radio, Mr. Glenn. One guy here tries to be logical. He tries to be at least halfway logical. He says, and I quote, I remember a guy like the Iron Sheik who would say a bunch of anti-American things, and they were trying to make a villain. But it didn't mean that WWE was anti-American. Right. And I was like, that's the most reasonable thing I've heard on this whole thing, on this whole radio show. Because, like, yes, exactly. This is a dude that at least at some point fundamentally understands wrestling. So he understands that they're trying to make a heel.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing with Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. They're trying to make a heel.
Well, most definitely. I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, that guy, he's watched wrestling. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he at least a little bit. But then he kind of knocks the trains off the track. He's like, but this is different. It seems like the villain, the guy you're supposed to hate, is this stereotype of yourself.
Stereotype of whose self?
Of the 80% of WWE viewers or whatever, or actually, sorry, the 100%, like Glenn said, who are Southern conservatives, because nobody in the North or nobody that's liberal would ever watch WWE, right? He's like, you're being told to hate this stereotype of yourself. It's no fucking different at all. The exact same way they tried to make a heel out of Iron Sheik, they're trying to make a heel out of Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter.
Yeah.
It's the exact same goddamn thing. The reason they think it's different is like, oh, no Sheiks were watching WWE in the 80s. Like, but conservatives are watching WWE in the 2010s, and you're going to make them think that you're not on their side. It's like, you know what? If conservatives are so crybaby-ish about this stuff, you know what? There's a commercial, and this is a segue. There's a commercial for, I think, like Tide, I don't know, clothes washing detergent or something stupid like that, that talks about wait till your kids move back home from university.
Right.
I don't get all butthurt over that commercial, because it's like a 35-second commercial making fun of kids that go to university and then move back home. I don't get all butthurt about that. It's funny. It makes kind of an interesting point, and it's funny. They approach it in a funny way.
Right.
WWE has approached Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger in a caricatured way that's not outright funny, but some of the things that they say, you can kind of be like, oh my God, I can't believe they went there, and you can kind of laugh at it. So it's basically the exact same thing, but conservatives are all up in arms about it, or Glenn Beck is at least. And it's like, you can't take yourself that fucking seriously. That you're like, WWE's attacking me, and that makes it hard for my family to stand up for what I believe in. I'm tired of being typecast and miscast on television. Fuck you, Glenn. Like, just stop. Get your head out of your own ass, or Rush Limbaugh's, whichever you'd prefer. And just like, stop taking yourself so goddamn seriously. Here's the kicker, and here's where we'll end.
Okay.
Glenn Beck ends this rant by comparing himself to Martin Luther King.
What?
He says, I believe in equal justice for everyone, which is the same thing that Martin Luther King stood up for.
Right.
So he basically directly compares himself to Martin Luther King. Because if he can say that Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter are representative of the Tea Party, and somebody considers that legit, you would have to consider legit the comparison that I just made. That he's basically comparing himself to Martin Luther King. It holds a lot more weight than what he fucking said. So he basically compares himself to Martin Luther King. I just have a question I want to ask Mr. Glenn Beck, and then we're going to be done. Would Martin Luther King have said something so fucking ridiculous as all Spanish-speaking classes turn immigrants into slaves? Would Martin Luther King have said something like that? Would Martin Luther King have blamed video games for the Sandy Hook disaster in Newtown, Connecticut? Which Glenn Beck did. He blamed video games for that. He said this kid played violent video games, and that's why he went and shot up that elementary school. He said this. Was that something Martin Luther King would say? I don't think so. Glenn Beck, it's not just because you attacked professional wrestling. Because people attack professional wrestling all the time.
Oh, sure.
And I don't mind intellectually debuffing everything basically that they say about pro wrestling, because pro wrestling is something that I love very deeply. It's something that's entertained me for years. Both of us for years. We're both huge professional wrestling fans. And we're certainly not the only ones. And people attack pro wrestling all the time, and that's it. Pro wrestling is misunderstood. Most people just don't get it. And that's perfectly fine. But when you come on a public radio show where you know you have a lot of listeners, and you go and you attack something that you clearly know nothing about, and not only do that, but all you do is attack red herrings. You attack arguments that weren't made in the first place. You attack points that weren't made in the first place. And you generalize and you demonize, which is what you say WWE has been doing to you. You prove yourself as nothing more than what you are, Glenn Beck, which is a fucking journalistic clown. And that is all you are. And I also find it very interesting that Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger invited Glenn Beck to be on Raw tonight in Glenn Beck's hometown of Dallas.
Really?
And said, we will give you a microphone, a live microphone for 5 minutes in the middle of the ring, and you can say whatever you want about our characters and about professional wrestling. And Glenn Beck's like, no, I'm doing other things. It's in your hometown, Glenn. You are simply a chicken, because it's all good for you to say these things when you can hide behind a microphone like you and I are doing right now.
Yeah.
It's all good when you can say these things, hide behind a microphone, and you don't have to answer to anybody except people on the internet who you can ignore. You can't ignore 18,000 people surrounding a ring who you just called stupid wrestling people 24 hours ago. You can't avoid that.
It's true.
So Glenn Beck is a goddamn coward because he's not willing to go on and go to the middle of the ring, to go into someone else's wheelhouse and try to defend his position, because he's a coward.
Right.
Vince McMahon will happily, and has done it in the past, go on anybody's radio show, go on Larry King, go on Jim Rome. Hell, he'll probably go on Glenn Beck and will answer to the accusations that are made against professional wrestling. But Glenn Beck is too much of a goddamn coward to go out in the middle of the ring surrounded by 18,000 people that he just called stupid wrestling people and defend his position. You know why? Because Glenn Beck is a coward. That's going to be the end of my rant, really. And Nick, I appreciate you giving me the leeway for us to go 25 minutes over on our podcast this week.
It was important.
It was important to talk about it. It transcends the world of professional wrestling. And I thought it was important to talk about. And I know wrestling fans will listen to this podcast and, Tweeter at least, and I know that he'll end up enjoying it, and I hope we said some insightful things. And if you were a Glenn Beck fan at the beginning of this, I hope you're not by the end of it. That is the, you know what? We can switch viewership numbers. Give us Glenn Beck's viewership numbers. Give Glenn Beck ours. That'd be great. So I feel like we have more legit messages to spread than Glenn fucking Beck. YouTube.com/user/noholdsbarredpodcast, Twitter.com/NHB_podcast, Ustream.tv/channel/noholdsbarredpodcast, and noholdsbarred-hangout. Let's see. Hit him with the website. Yeah.
http:// for all you techno nerds out there. noholdsbarredpodcast.net63.net.
There you go, yeah. iTunes, the No Holds Barred Podcast, or noholdsbarredpodcast@gmail.com.
Either way, we'll find you.
Exactly. We will find you, and we get all the download numbers because of where we host our stuff. It tells us every time that it's downloaded. So we want to thank everybody that has downloaded our material on iTunes. We thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
That's it. A Skype nhb.podcast. If you want to be a guest on the show, please feel free to call in. We will interrupt the middle of whatever bullshit we're talking about to come on and talk to you pretty well about whatever you want to talk about. So
the Skype is on 1 hour before recording.
Yeah, exactly.
We always throw a tweet up just telling you that it's online. Just call.
Exactly.
We'll be happy to talk about just whatever you want to talk about.
Exactly. You got something you want to talk about?
Hey, wrestling related.
Hey, you know what? Absolutely.
About that.
Even if you want to call us when we're doing No Holds Barred and talk wrestling stuff, we'll divert. I mean, it's just good to have somebody call in on the podcast. So we are going to have some guests in the future. We've actually had some people now express interest in being guests on the podcast, which is great. So we're going to move ahead with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done just over an hour and 25 minutes.
Holy
Thank
smokes.
you. I know. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the whole thing. The No Holds Barred podcast. We will see you again next week.
Yes, sir.
Any closing thoughts, Mr. Stevenson?
I like walking. Glenn Beck, you're an asshole. Get with the program. Wrestling is story-based. I rest my case.
Exactly. Good on you, sir. See you later, everybody.
Later.